All right, let's get into it. If you're studying for your AWS Cloud Practitioner exam, you know there are a few topics that are, well, they're just designed to trip you up. And today, we are tackling one of the biggest head scratchers out there: how AWS Organizations, Consolidated Billing, and the free tier all play together. It can feel like a total maze, I get it, but stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll have a crystal clear map to absolutely nail those questions. Okay, let's jump in. So here's the game plan. We're going to start with the why. Why do we even need multiple accounts? Then we'll bring in the hero of our story, AWS Organizations. After that, we'll unpack its biggest superpower, consolidated billing. And then, oh yeah, we're going to untangle that super tricky AWS free tier situation. And to finish it all off, we'll boil it all down to the key facts you absolutely need to remember for your exam. First things first, let's talk about the core problem we're trying to solve here. You know, as a company starts to grow on AWS, you might think, hey, let's just put everything in one giant account. Simple, right? Well, it turns out that's actually a pretty risky move. So you gotta ask, right? Why would anyone add the complexity of juggling multiple AWS accounts? It seems like more work. But the answer, and this is key, really comes down to three things: security, managing your costs, and just operational safety. This is where it gets really interesting. A multi-account strategy isn't just a nice to have, it's basically a requirement once you start getting serious. I mean, security is the big one. Imagine a test account gets compromised. You definitely don't want that mess spilling over into your production environment. And then there are service quotas. You don't want your new experimental app to accidentally use up all the resources and crash your main application. But my favorite term here is blast radius. Having separate accounts just contains the damage when, not if, something goes wrong. Okay, so we've established that having multiple accounts is a must. But, wow, that sounds like a total headache to manage, right? A dozen accounts, a dozen bills, a dozen logins? No thanks. Well, that's exactly where AWS Organizations steps in. It's this awesome and, get this, totally free service that brings some much-needed order to all that potential chaos. Think of AWS Organizations as the command center for your entire AWS universe. It's the one place you go to group all your different accounts, slap some rules and policies on them, and handle all the billing. For real-world use, this is the absolute foundation for building out any serious, scalable environment on AWS. Now, inside every single organization, there is one account to rule them all, and that is the management account. This is the account that starts the whole organization. It has the ultimate power, and here's the kicker, it's the one that pays the bill for everybody else. Now, for the exam, burn this into your brain. Once you create an organization, you can't change the management account. It's set in stone. And then you've got your member accounts. These are pretty much all the other accounts in your organization. You'll have them for your dev team, your production apps, your security tools, you name it. These are the accounts where the actual work gets done, and they all live by the rules that are set from that top-level management account. Okay, let's put these side by side, because this is where the separation of duties really clicks. Your management account is for one thing: governance and billing. It pays all the bills. You should never run your actual applications in it. The member accounts, that's where the party's at. That's where all your applications and workloads live. They're the ones racking up the charges, but the bill gets sent upstairs to the management account. This distinction right here, this comes up a lot on the Cloud Practitioner exam. All right, now for the real superpower of AWS Organizations, especially when we're talking about saving money. Let's get into consolidated billing. The best part is, this is turned on automatically the second you create an organization. The idea here is actually super simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of your finance team getting like 50 different AWS bills every month, all the usage from every single member account gets rolled up into one single consolidated bill. It's kind of like a family cell phone plan, right? Everyone in the family uses their phone, but at the end of the month, one person gets one neat bill for everybody. It's exactly like that. And the perks? Oh, they are massive. You get that single bill, which makes life so much easier. But the real magic, the secret sauce, is in combining your usage. See, a lot of AWS services get cheaper the more you use them. Think S3 storage. By pooling everyone's usage together, your whole organization can hit those cheaper pricing tiers way faster than any one account could on its own. On top of that, you can share big discounts like reserved instances across all your accounts. And again, this amazing feature costs you absolutely nothing extra. This chart really spells it out perfectly. Look, on its own, a single account might be stuck in a more expensive pricing tier.
But when you add its usage to another account's usage inside the same organization, suddenly their combined total pushes them over the line into a cheaper tier. So the bottom line is, everybody in the organization wins, and the total AWS bill goes down. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, we've talked about all the good stuff. But now, we gotta talk about the single biggest gotcha, the classic exam trap, how the AWS free tier works inside an organization. This is, without a doubt, where most people get tripped up. This quote right here from the official AWS terms is the golden rule. You have to remember this. The key phrase, the one you absolutely have to burn into your brain, is aggregate the usage across all accounts. What that means is the free tier is not per account anymore. It's one shared pool for the entire organization. Let's break this down, because the difference is night and day. If you go and create a brand new standalone AWS account, boom, it gets its own 12-month free tier. Simple. But the moment it joins an organization, everything changes. There is only one free tier for the entire group. So if you get 750 free hours of an EC2 instance, that's 750 hours shared between everybody. And here's the most important part. The 12-month eligibility clock, it's tied to when the management account was created, not the new account. So what does this actually mean for you? Let's say you create a brand new AWS account today. Great, it has a full free tier. But if you then invite it to join your organization and that organization's management account is, say, 2 years old, well, your new account instantly loses all its three-tier benefits. Poof, gone. Because the organization's eligibility has already expired. This is a big, flashing red light. It's a one-way action with immediate financial consequences. Okay, deep breath. Let's pull all of this together into a quick cheat sheet for test day. These are the absolute non-negotiable points you have to know before you walk into that exam. Let's run through this one more time. Billing. All charges roll up to the management account. Easy. One bill. Volume discounts. Your usage is combined, so you hit those cheaper prices way faster. Reserved instances. Yep, you can share those across accounts to make sure you're getting every penny's worth. And finally, the big one, the AWS free tier. It's aggregated, it's shared, and the major caveat is that a brand new account can lose its free tier the second it joins an older organization. And that's a wrap. But before you go, I want to leave you with a little thought experiment. Now that you know all these rules about billing organizations and the free tier, if a startup came to you for advice, what would you tell them? Should they start with one account to max out that free tier and then create an organization later? Or should they start with an organization from day one for better structure? The answer actually has real financial implications, and now you've got the knowledge to make that call. Thanks for watching.